Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. This bonus episode is regarding the Federal League 2023 State Baseball Tourney. Hello, my name is Dan. I'll be going through all four brackets to give you a preview for the upcoming tournament that starts this weekend. 30 teams playing in the postseason, four different brackets. We'll go one by one here on the show, starting off with AAA. The big dogs. The Minoka Grays, 17-1, will be taking on the River Falls Groupers, 12-6. Now, Minoka is the number one seed here. They led every team in the Federal League in scoring. Runs scored, number one in runs scored. Also, they've allowed the fewest number of runs allowed in the entire league with 32. This is the team to beat. Like I said, they're 17-1. At their disposal is Mr. Nick Larson. Led the entire league in batting average. This will be a good game. Keep in mind, these are all double elimination. Next game is Newmarket Northerns, 15-3, versus Apple Valley A's, 15-3. This should be a good matchup. Newmarket won the AA tournament last year. Now playing, I think, for the first time ever in AAA for Newmarket. Both teams here, 15-3. This will be a good game. Next game is Burnsville Bulldogs, 15-3, against the Rosemount Pipers, 14-4. This will also be a very good matchup between two teams formerly played in the Minnesota Senior Men's League Association before converting over to the Federal League recently. They'll be taking on each other. And finally, East Metro Mammoth, 16-2, versus Lakeville Lobos, 14-4. East Metro looking for a three-peat. They've won the AAA tournament here back-to-back seasons for the Mammoth. They're 16-2 this year, looking for a three-peat, but they've got to get past the Minoka Grays. But first of all, they got to get past the Lakeville Lobos. This should be a very good matchup. Keep in mind, double elimination starting this opening weekend, 2 rounds. The following weekend will be the remaining games. Let's move on to AA. Here's the AA bracket. First game, Rockford Rail Splitters, 12-6, take on Lonsdale Jokers, 9-9. Rockford is led by Todd Hagg once again, up there in almost every offensive category, including leading the entire league in stolen bases. Watch out for Hagg. But they won't have an easy task. If Vosepka throws for Lonsdale, they could have a tough match, tough game there right away. 8 against a 1 seed. Look for that to be an interesting game. Second game is All Saints, Minnetonka Saints, 11-7, taking on the South Metro Saints, 11-7. That should be awfully good matchup there. Look for newly inducted Hall of Fame member Jeff Knutson, El Jefe, on the mound for South Metro. The bottom half of the bracket is St. Michael Angels, 11-7, taking on the Metro Loons, 10-8. St. Michael has the league's best pitcher as far as lowest ERA. Dan Plouffe leads the entire league in lowest ERA. Look for him to go game 1. The bottom game of the bracket, TC Snappers, 11-7, taking on the Northfield Millers, 9-9. Now, the AA tournament's going to have a new champ this year. Last year's champ was Newmarket. They moved up to AAA. We'll have a changing of the guard here at AA. Let's move on to the Class A bracket. Class A. St. Croix Valley Silverbacks, 9-9, going up against the Richfield Rockets, 5-13. Once again, now these are not overall records for win-loss records. These are conference matches or conference games only, Federal League games only, not any additional games. Some teams have played up to 35 games here totally, but the win-loss record we're going with is the final official standings. Silverbacks 9-9 against Richfield Rockets, 5-13. I think making their first appearance in the Federal League Class A tournament. Usually they're in the Class B. Elko Chuggers. Elko, first time also playing as down as low as the Class A. They've always usually been higher up with the big boys. Elko's 8-10. Will take on Milltown Outlaws, 8-10. That should be good. First time in the state tournament for teammates Chris Davis and Bill Dunker. This is a tough Milltown team. If everyone's there, they could do some damage. Next game is Chaska Voyagers, 8-10 versus Webster Wildcats, 7-11. Webster Wildcats have won the Class A bracket back-to-back seasons. They're looking for a three-peat. Always tough. But that opening round, I'm sure they'll be going up against Voyagers rookie catcher Jeff Klavitz and former pro on the mound Jim Brower. Tough for Webster to win that game. But as it's double elimination, this could be a team to fight back through whoever loses this game to get back to that championship. The bottom game of this bracket is Capital City Cannons, 9-9, taking on Red West Legends, 7-11. This will be a good bracket to watch. All these games are the opening two weekends. The last bracket is B. They have the opening weekend off. No games this coming weekend. They will get to sit back, enjoy themselves, and watch the other tournaments. This Class B goes on weekends 2 and 3. First weekend off. Smaller amount of teams in this group here. Only 6 teams. They'll have the first weekend off. They'll play the second weekend and then have the championship. They're at St. Bonnie the third weekend all by themselves, when more than likely many of the past winners of the previous week's tournaments will be watching this game in St. Bonnie. The championship for Federal League Class B, always fun to watch. Vesely Vulcans, 2-16, will take on the Chaska Diamonds, 2-16. The next game is the Minneapolis Bombers, 2-16, versus the Minnetonka Mustangs, 1-17. Now keep in mind, these are the bottom feeders of the Federal League. These teams are all here with 2 wins or 1 win. This entire tournament here down in Class B is very evenly matched. Always some good games at this level. St. Paul JTs will have a first-round bye. They're 4-14. Jim Block's team will head in and have a first-round bye for their first game August 12th in St. Bonnie. The other team of the first-round bye is St. Paul Senators. St. Paul Senators. Senators won the Class B tournament last year. They'll be looking to repeat. But the Senators are only 3-15 this year and still have a tough road ahead. A tough road compounded by the fact that St. Paul has only scored 47 runs all season. Lowest offensive production of all the teams in the Federal League is the St. Paul Senators. So they've got their work cut out for them here in the Class B tournament. That's an overview for the Federal League 2023 State Baseball Tourney coming up here in August. 30 teams will be vying for 4 titles. Thanks for listening.